Reflections from Torch Trust, focusing on Christian faith and sight loss.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Reflections, the show from Torch Trust that focuses on disability and faith in today's world. I'm Marilyn Baker and I'm the host of Reflections. We're so glad you've joined us today. On today's show, we're going to be hearing from two very special guests. Both are clients of Torch, both have sight loss, and both are here to share their stories. Together, Carole and Gayle Ann help us illustrate why Torch exists, why we want to serve to bring God's love, support and communities to people with sight loss. We're going to start with Carole, who has macular degeneration, and recently spoke with our reporter, Susie.
A little bit about how you came to lose your sight, or is it something that's been
it's macular
lifelong?
degeneration. It's macular degeneration, which has been diagnosed now 20 years ago.
Wow.
So I've had it for 20 years, but it's really only made an impact in my reading sight for about the last 6 years.
So with the macular degeneration then, what kinds of things does it change for you? Are you able to drive?
Oh, no.
No. So
No, that
it
was one
impacts...
of the things I was told not to do.
Yeah.
That was when I last saw the consultant eye specialist in 2017, and she said, you must stop driving and you must stop driving now.
Wow.
Which was a great blow because, that makes me feel I've lost all my independence with that.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to have friends and a husband who will drive me, but it's not the same as being independent yourself. But I know I can't change that, so I have to learn to accept that I have to be prepared to ask other people if I really need help with taking me somewhere.
Yeah. And sort of when you're out and about, how do you find that? Are you able to sort of see street signs and things?
No, I can't read street signs or road signs. Because the central part of my vision, which enables you to read letters and words, that's gone. That's degenerated now. And so I feel very sad because I can't read properly and I can't write. I have got so I can't read properly. I have a very expensive magnifier that I use from a firm that was recommended to me, and I can see words and write and read short passages, but it's very straining on the eyes when you can't read.
Yeah.
You try to read a lot, your eyes just give up.
Yeah, I can imagine. So how did you hear about Torch then?
Now, a Christian friend recommended Torch to me some time ago now, when I was really struggling with coming to terms with what I couldn't do anymore. And what did she do? She gave me your details and said you might like to try contacting these people who are a Christian charity especially for blind and partially sighted people. Yeah. And that's what I did.
Yeah. And what services do you get from Torch?
I absolutely value the daily Bible reading notes. The daily Bible reading notes.
Well, that's really good to hear. And I know that you've... Sorry, carry on.
I have New Day Life. I used to have it in large print, and still do, but I just value it so much on the memory stick.
Oh, that's really good to hear. And you've ordered books from Torch, haven't you? What sort of things do you enjoy reading?
Oh yes, I started off with some of the Pam Rhodes books, but I really don't know what sort of things I would like to order next, because Pam Rhodes was
more of a novel, isn't it?
A novel, yes, yeah. I would like something more factual.
Yes, and I can say we've got quite a lot in the collection. So are you interested in sort of people's biographies?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some great biographies of different people, Christian missionaries and things like that. And also we've got study books and things. So we'll get some details of those over to you. But thank you so much for speaking to me today.
We'll be hearing from another user of Torch's services in just a few minutes. But first, it's time for our thought for the week. This week, Malcolm Ferries reluctantly admits to being just a little bit grumpy. Oh, poor Malcolm.
Do you ever watch Grumpy Old Men? It's a TV series where a bunch of male celebrities whinge about the everyday things which bug them. And it's very entertaining. Now, I'd like to say I'm never grumpy. I know I shouldn't be. I've got lots to thank God for, but as my wife would tell you, I can moan for England even about stuff that doesn't matter. Well, God doesn't get grumpy. I know that sounds corny, but really it's quite a thought. We are all human, and however hard we try, sometimes we lose our grip, and it can be over something major or something really small. The dishwasher breaks down, or maybe the boss doesn't seem to notice when we've gone that extra mile to get an urgent job done, or we get walked into by someone who's too busy gossiping on their mobile to notice us. The thing about God, though, is that his mood doesn't change, ever. He loves us and cares for us, and he will never stop doing that. Think about what John says in his first letter at verse 8 of chapter 4. God is love. How about that for saying a lot in 3 words? God doesn't have off days. He never lets us down, and he doesn't hold grudges. And I've got quite a few managers who like to say, you can always come and talk to me about anything, my door's always open. But of course a manager does always have a do not disturb notice to hand. It's not like that with God. He is carrying out his purpose and listening to our prayers 24/7. He knows more about you and me than we know about ourselves. Well, he created us. To quote a line from the theme song of another TV series, this time a sitcom, Friends, God will always be there for you. Think about these words of Christ in chapter 12 of John's Gospel, verse 6. Are not 5 sparrows selling for 2 pence? And not one of them is forgotten in God's sight. But even the hairs of your head have all been numbered. Then do not fear. You are of more consequence than many sparrows.
We're going to hear now from another Torch client. Gayle Ann spoke with Susie about her experiences with sight loss, her relationship with God, and using Torch's services. We do need to let you know that Gayle Ann's interview contains a reference to domestic violence, which some listeners may find upsetting. If you're affected by this topic and need support, the number for the free 24-hour National Domestic Abuse Helpline is 0808 2000 24/7.
Gayle, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you came to have sight loss.
Oh, yeah. Well, mine was a situation where I was in a domestic abusive relationship. And my retinas were detached and reattached, of course. Well, one of my retina was reattached. The right eye, it was a bit too late. So I lost vision in that eye very early, but the left eye, the doctor did all they could have done. So as a result of all the surgeries that I did, I developed glaucoma. And it has been a downhill spiral from my last procedure. Yeah. So I am currently severely sight impaired, secondary glaucoma.
And so for a lot of us, we can't really imagine what that feels like when you sort of said, the doctors had done all they could. Yeah. What were you feeling when they say that and they say this isn't recoverable?
Well, at that point, I had developed a relationship with Christ, so it was a bit, of course, it was a bit hard, but, I had come to accept, what my situation was, and I know whatever the outcome would have been, that, I would have been okay because I had God, and, the Holy Spirit was always there to encourage me and in times when I feel low, and, so I had that relationship with Christ, and that is what kept me, upbeat and happy regardless to, whatever I had to face, even at that point.
Oh, that's so good to hear. And
Yeah.
that's what makes us so passionate at Torch about reaching out to people who don't know Christ, because you think there must be every day, they say 250 people a day getting that kind of diagnosis and they don't know Jesus. So I believe you were one of the people who has received one of our Pathway audio players, the New Testament. How have you found that?
Oh, it is my friend. It is actually my friend. She sleeps with me under my pillow most nights. If I'm in the kitchen, she's with me wherever. It is just so convenient.
Yeah.
And I have read the New Testament time and again, and the way that this has been structured. What's his name? The gentleman who does the reading.
That's David Suchet. Yeah.
Yes, his voice is so subtle, and the way he brings across the characters, and it's just easy to understand. He makes it easy for you to understand. So if you're a baby in the word and you listen, you are going to understand exactly what he's saying. So I really appreciate it. It's really my friend. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good to hear. And it's one of those things, we do need God's word every day, don't we? So if it's kind of something like you say, you can keep it with you and you can have it whenever and whatever's going on.
Yeah. Additionally, I am now unable to read, especially small print. And even with the big print, there are good days and bad days when it comes to, your sight. When you have eye conditions, there are days when you just can't see a thing. So I just grab her. And I press, and there I go. I can hear the word every day,
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you receive any other services from Torch?
Oh, yeah, I have had 2 or 3 books delivered to me so far. I'm currently on the Pilgrim's Progress. I'm currently reading that, so yes.
Fantastic. How are you getting on with the Pilgrim's Progress? It's quite an iconic book, isn't it?
I know. I've always wanted. I had it, and I started reading, but I didn't get to finish because, like I told you, my eyes. And I was very pleased when I heard it's available, so I grabbed it, and I'm still going through, as I said. So the way it has been put in a way that the characters and certain verses of the Bible and principles, they're put into human characters.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun book. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant to hear. If you had the opportunity to speak to our supporters, what would you say to them?
Just immense thanks. Immense thanks for the persons who would have sat down and thought of, doing this to persons like myself. I know it would have taken a lot, for all this to come together, but just thank you. That's really it. Just immense thanks, because I've been helped a great deal. So, just thank you. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah. That's so brilliant to hear. And I think that's the thing for me. So that's kind of my role here at Torch, is to just communicate to our supporters to say, keep praying, keep giving, keep volunteering, because it is making a difference. It's a difficult time for everyone at the moment, but it means a lot to people. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that.
Well, we're about out of time for today. If you'd like to receive one of the Pathway audio Bible players that Gayle Ann talked about, please do get in touch. We've recently received another 1,000 players, all of which we're giving away completely free to people in the UK who are blind or partially sighted. To get your free player, give us a call on 01858 438 260. That's also the number to call if you're interested in any of the services Torch provides, including our fellowship groups, accessible books to borrow and buy, and our sight-loss-friendly church initiative. All of our services are available to people of any faith or none, and we long to reach out and serve more blind and partially sighted people, so please do get in touch. Remember, the number is 01858 438 260, or you can email info@torchtrust.org. We'll be back next week with more great life stories, songs and spiritual reflections. But until then, from me, Marilyn, and everyone on the Reflections team, goodbye and God bless.
You've been listening to Reflections from Torch Trust.